ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो वरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयम् करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करम् शङ्कराचार्यम् केशवम् बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणी निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ॐ ब्रह्मादेवानां प्रथमः सम्बभूव विश्वस्य कर्ता भुवनस्य गोप्ता स ब्रह्म विद्यां सर्वविद्याप्रतिष्ठाम् अथर्वाय ज्येष्ठपुत्राय प्राह अथर्वणेयां प्रवदेत ब्रह्मा अथर्वातां पुरोवाचाङ्गिरे ब्रह्म विद्यां स भारद्वाजाय सत्यवहाय प्राह भारद्वाजो अङ्गिरसे परावराम् शौनको ह वै महाशालः अङ्गिरसं विधिवत् उपसन्नः पप्रच्छ कस्मिन्नु भगवो विज्ञाते सर्वमिदं विज्ञातं भवतीति तस्मै स होवाच द्वे विद्ये वेदितव्ये इति हस्मयद् ब्रह्मविदो वदन्ति परा च एवापरा च तत्र अपरा ऋग्वेदो यजुर्वेदः सामवेदो अथर्ववेदः शिक्षाकल्पो व्याकरणम् निरुक्तं छन्दो ज्योतिषमिति अथ परा यया तदक्षरमधिगम्यते
Very beautiful chanting, Vidya. And also, when we chant Om, there has to be a gap. In that gap, there is Akshara Tattva, Brahman. So, Hari Om to all. We are doing Mundakopanishad. In that, after glorification of the Guru Shishya Parampara, a very interesting question is asked in the beginning itself by an householder who is wealthy, successful, called as Shaunaka, to an enlightened master, Angirasa. That question is very interesting, and the entire Mundaka Upanishad is the answer to the question. So the question is, by knowing that, what is that? By knowing which, I will know everything. So where this question would have come, he would have heard, he would have studied, and as he is successful and wealthy, still that incompleteness, something lack is there. and he wants that fulfillment. And now he's asking, what is that? By knowing which, I will know everything. Angiraj ji answers in a very interesting way. He says that there are two types of knowledge because he has asked about knowledge. What is that? By knowing which. So he says there are two types of knowledge, paravidya, aparavidya. Paravidya means higher knowledge and aparavidya means not higher knowledge. So we can term as lower knowledge. And now immediately Angiraj gives aparavidya details. Now this is also very important. How the sequence goes in this Mundakopanishad. Why he gives aparavidya? That 4 Vedas and 6 Vedangas are aparavidya because Angiraj knows it. Because using aparavidya, he has become successful and wealthy. So he starts with the known and then says, this is aparavidya, which whatever you know till now, because of which you have become healthy, wealthy, successful. You have got such big yajneshalas, goshalas, you are a mahashala. And then what is paravidya? Paravidya, he says, important point, those who are writing, is knowledge of Akshara Tattva is Paravidya. So if you know the Akshara Tattva, you will know everything. So now when Shaunakji hears this, definitely anyone would get eager and curious to know what is the Paravidya. What is that Akshara Tattva? So now Angirajji today is going to tell definitions of Akshara Tattva. So, as Swamiji mentioned, in the entire 64 mantras of this Upanishad, there are many, many beautiful mantras are there, but this mantra is the most important mantra. If we understand this, then our questions, our focus must be on this mantra. What is the definition of Akshara Tattva? Because the interest of Shaunakji is what? If I know one thing, I will know everything. And Shaunakji means us. So with this background, the interest, eagerness and curiosity is created in Shaunakji by Angiraji, and then he defines Akshara Tattva by 12 Lakshanas. 12 pointers are given. And we will first of all listen to this. So I would request Vidya to recite it twice, and then we will see what is the analysis of this sixth mantra, which is the most important mantra, and this is where we have to contemplate regularly. So our questions must be more on this mantra. Yes, Vidya.
यत्तदत्रेष्यमग्राह्यमगोत्रमवर्णम् अचक्षुश्रोत्रम् तदपाणिपादम् नित्यम् विभुम् सर्वगतम् सुसूक्ष्मम् तदव्ययम् यद्भूतयोनिम् परिपश्यन्ति धीराः यत्तदत्रेष्यमग्राह्यमगोत्रमवर्णम् अचक्षुश्रोत्रम् तदपाणिपादम् नित्यं विभुं सर्वगतं सुसूक्ष्मं तदव्ययं यद्भूतयोनिं परिपश्यन्ति धीराः.
Very nice. So, by means of the higher knowledge, the wise behold everywhere Brahman. Wise is the dhiraha, paripashyanti dhiraha, which otherwise cannot be seen or seized. Adrusyam, agrahyam. We are going to analyze one by one, which has no root, it has no gotra, agotram, or no attributes, no varnam, no eyes or ears, achakshuk shotram, and no hands and feet, tadap panipadam. These are the negative definitions. And then the next line are positive definition. Nityam vibhum sarvagatam susukshmam tadavyayam yad bhuta yonim paripashyanti dhiraha. So that which is omnipresent, all pervading, extremely subtle, which is imperishable, and very important point, source of all. This is a question what is asked. What actually Shaunakji is asking, that what is that one cause? If I know this, I know the effects. And now, once I know this, that once he mentions that this is a source of all, the next two mantras are, seventh and eighth mantras are basically the effect of this source and how creation happens. So now 12 lakshanas are given. Now very important, Guruji says that whenever we are reading this, the most important person whom I am interested in life is myself. This is about me. These 12 lakshanas are about me. These are definitions of me. Whenever even small mirror is there in a very, very busy schedule, when we pass through the mirror, we are interested to, look at our face and do hair. So this is about me. So all the time, whenever we read this definition and lakshanas, I must be amazed that Upanishad is defining me. These are my definition. This is my real nature. So with that perspective, when I listen, I must feel that joy from within by listening only. A little likes comes on Facebook, we feel so joyous. Some power, some fame, something we get, we feel so happy. Now here Upanishad is saying, you are not this one small bichara person living in some corner of Mumbai or here and there. You are that. So now, what is Lakshana? Pointers, not the pointed. These are attributes, not the qualities. These are indicators. And in Gurudev's beautiful language, these are signposts, not the pointed, not what the signpost is directing or showing. Like suppose we are going on a path and we want to go to Mukteshwar temple and we are tired and then we don't know how much time it is going to take to Mukteshwar temple, because people ask, when will I get realized, when will I get realized, this life, next life. So while going on the path of Mukteshwar temple, one signboard comes, Mukteshwar temple, that direction 5 kilometers, and the arrow is shown. So the arrow and now we have to listen carefully because there were a lot of questions on this. Last time we discussed the arrow, the signboard, and the words written on the signboard are aparavidya. The words written in the textbook are aparavidya. So that signboard is not Mukteshwar temple. I have to leave the signboard and then move towards the Mukteshwar temple. And when I enter the Mukteshwar temple, I become one with that temple from outside when somebody looks, and that is Paravidya. So if I still have doubt that these words written in the textbook are Aparavidya, I must not get stuck with the signboard that this is the Mukteshwar temple and sit down only. No, I have understood. So Swami Vivekananda says that it is very easy to understand Vedanta comparatively, but most difficult thing in this is what? Vairagya. I have to walk. I have to walk the path, and then I will know what are the challenges, comes, and one of the challenge comes for all spiritual seeker is letting go whatever is known, freedom from known. Three types of lakshanas are there. Main ones. There are other two, three also. Swarupa Lakshana, which are going to come now. Swarupa Lakshana is when I say Sat Chit Ananda is the Swarupa of the Akshara Tattva or Brahman. Tatastha Lakshana, which when it is indicated that it is the source of the universe, it is Tatastha Lakshana because it is indicating, it is an incidental one. Because once I realize Brahman, there is no creation. So the screen is the substratum of the movie. When the movie is not there, it is not a substratum of anything. So it is indicated, incidental. Like when we say that, suppose you are giving the address to somebody, I live in that building which is white in color and which is two floored. Is it incidental? Tomorrow that building can be redeveloped and become 20 floors and the color may change to blue. And when I say that when you are coming to my residence, you will see a very big pink building which is 20 floors. Don't go there. Opposite to that, there is a white building which is second two floored. So that is Vyavartaka Lakshan. I am actually asking the person to come to the pink building because it is very easily known, and behind that, opposite that there is this white building. So that is Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharira Vyatiriktam. So when we are negating that, so you will see here the different Lakshanas are there. How just by knowing I can realize this? Because it's my own nature. Karma is not required. This point in Bhashya taken in detail by Adi Shankaracharya. If it wouldn't have been my nature and this goal or the laksha or the lakshana is pointing something other than me, then karma is required. But it is myself. Like I have forgotten that the specs which I am wearing, which are hanging, they are behind. I am searching and somebody points out, Arey, the specs are behind you. And then I just look and then the specs are behind me. I have not gained anything. I have not lost anything. And I have just known it. Hand putting also is karma, but that also you say, oh, is it me only? Two purposes of lakshanas are there. What Swamiji mentioned. Knowledge, desire, action. So first knowledge comes, then desire comes, then action comes. So when we are going to learn these lakshanas, this is actually giving us the knowledge of the Akshara Tattva, that is myself. So the desire to know it must grow, and the desire to know Aparavidya, the world, must reduce. After listening to these lakshanas, my attention must go to myself, my nature, not the world, not how other people are behaving, what is happening on WhatsApp, on YouTube, on Instagram, in different world, because that is all aparavidya, that is all superimposed. That is all the movie. I am interested in now my nature. That's all. That must become my goal. And Vairagya means what? Dispassion about the false, which is not my nature. It is a very positive thing. People think Vairagya means it is very negative thing and it should not come to us gruvastha. No, no. Dispassion means I start enjoying more because it's false. When we go to a movie, that in the, there is a possibility now that you can order popcorn and samosa and cold drink while sitting on the seat, so that that the person comes with popcorn, samosa, cold drink. Please take popcorn, samosa, cold drink. And on the screen there is somebody's death happening and people are crying. And then you open the popcorn in it and say, no, no, this popcorn is very stale. That person says, Madam, you please look on the screen. Somebody is dying. No, no, that is all movie I know. I am interested in this popcorn, which is stale. So when we go in the movie, we enjoy the movie with popcorn, samosa, and there are 100 people dying and so many things are happening, but that is a movie we know. So that is dispassion, vairagya towards the false, towards the world. So after this sixth mantra, my goal must be very clear that I must realize my own nature. And there is no gap between me and myself. Aparavidya, knowledge of fulfilling desires, that is abhyudaya, deals with adding balloons. What is adding balloons? Going to school, going to college, marriage, children, this, travel, pleasure, fame, power, security, money. This is one balloon after another balloon. Abhyudaya, knowledge of fulfilling desire, which is there in Aparavidya, which is there in Karma and Upasana Kanda in the Vedas. And what is Paravidya? Knowledge of transcending desires for total fulfillment. Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, first Lakshana of Sita Prajna. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. From the mind, all desires when they go. Then Atman Neva Atmana Dushta, that is the Sita Prajnasta Dochate. This is how Sita Prajna, this is how Paripashyanti Dhira operates. So, Nishreyasa means deal with the space in which all balloons are there, which is Nirguna. Here, example of space is taken to, this is Swamiji's example that I am interested in the space, I am interested in the cause. Nishreyas, I am not interested in different balloons, one after this bucket list of experiencing. I am interested in the experiencer. I am not interested in the scenery. I am interested in the seer. I am not interested now in failure experience, success experience, good experience, bad experience, because what I have learnt is who is the experiencer of this experience. That I am interested. That is Akshara Tattva. That is Brahman and that is my Atma. This knowledge is Paravidya which gives Jnana, Vijnana both of this Akshara Tattva. And what is the process? Aham asmi, aham janati, aham ichhosmi, aham karosmi, aham bhogosmi, aham bandhosmi. So knowledge, desire, action. I am just giving you. So I know that I am. Then I am is the first step. I know, second stage. Then once I know something, then only desire will be created. Then I desire it. Then I do something. Karma is required. Then I get the karma follow. Then I enjoy it. So I become karta bhokta. And the moment I become karta bhokta, aham bandhosmi, the bandha happens. Because Brahman, Akshar Tattva is akarta abhokta. That is my real nature. So with this background, we will see the 12 Lakshanas. Let us now reflect on the Akshar Tattva Lakshanas. Lakshanas are definition, Lakshanas are pointers, Lakshanas are signpost. And I must leave the signpost and go towards the pointed. So Paripashyanti Dhiraha. Who is a Dhira? Wise comes to know this truth. What truth? Imperishable Akshar Tattva is my own self. No, there is some God, there is some Brahman, there is some universe, and what is the purpose of creation, then how the creation happened. Now we have to listen carefully. How the creation happened, why Brahman created this universe, why God created this universe, why there is good and bad, how is it going to impact my life? As Swamiji says that finally Vedanta, chanting, Vedantic knowledge, chanting, puja, japa, it must transform myself. So, that relationship is important, that this imperishable tattva, Shaunakji now listens, that imperishable tattva is me only. Otherwise, just knowing that imperishable tattva, it will not impact my life. As gold is Atman of ornaments, gold ornaments, clay is the Atman of all pots. In the same way, I am the source of all. I am not born in this world. The world I create, sustain and dissolve. I am the creator, sustainer, dissolver from the Atma point of view. How does the Dhira recognizes is now you have to pay attention. Those who are feeling sleepy, because I know some people sleep at 9:30 and now time is, nearer, because earlier we used to have at 7 o'clock, now 9 o'clock. Not by the mind, but by aparokshanubhuti. This Swamiji mentioned. Why? Because my mind can only have knowledge of objects. How the mind knows, how the mind or intellect has the knowledge? It is by reflection. As we discussed that this light is falling on the object and then from object it is reflected coming on my ear, eyes, and then inverted image goes to the brain in electrical impulse and then I have knowledge. In the same way, all this taste, all this smell is coming as a reflected knowledge. But Paravidya is a subject knowledge. Who am I? And when will I know it? When the mind dissolves. Mano Nasha. Akshara Tattva will be revealed as my own self. So Mano Nasha has to happen. By mind, I will not be able to recognize. It is aparokshanubhuti by my own experience that I know that I am. I know that I am doesn't require any scriptures, any pramana, any lakshana to know, because I know that I am. Even in deep sleep, after getting up, I know that I was there. So I cannot know, I have to note down this, I cannot know my absence. That possibility is not there. So this is the way the dhira recognizes it, not by only by hearting and telling I am Atma, Sula Sukshma Sharira Vyatiriktam Avasthatraya Sakshi Satchitananda Swarupa. That is definition by hearted. But dhira knows by one's own experience. After getting up, I don't have to tell myself that I am a man or I am a woman. That knowledge comes spontaneously. This knowledge is so deeper that it just comes spontaneously that I am this. And then that person abides in it. That's the reason we say that Ramana Maharshi abides in that knowledge. So contemplation on our true nature, and what is the method? 6 and 6. So what is the first one? Adrishyam, cannot be seen. Cannot be seen means cannot be heard, cannot be tasted, cannot be smelled, cannot be touched. Beyond 5 sense organs. What is the implication of this? That cannot be known through senses. How do we know anything? Only by reflection. We have discussed. Apara Vidya is all reflected knowledge. Akshara knowledge is not reflected knowledge. So now one question comes. What about those people who see God vision? That God vision comes and goes. So we have also understood from Swamiji mentioned in the earlier sessions that what knowledge which comes and goes, that is not the truth. Truth is that which is there in the past, present and future. Because some people say, I can see God, but then afterward the God disappears. That vision comes, vision disappears. But who is the seer? That is very important in this perspective. Akshara is beyond Triputi, knower, known, knowing. So practice says control. What is the practice I must do? Now suppose my interest is Akshara Tattva, then I know I don't require senses. No, only when we come to Sandipani Sadhanalaya and sit there and listen, that time I should use senses. I must use sense control. Only those things I must hear, taste, smell, which are going to take me towards Akshar Tattva. Those who are not going to take me towards Akshar Tattva, sense control. I do not want. Shut it. I do not want this information. So reduce Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Not interested because it is not going to take me towards Akshar Tattva. On this topic, I can discuss 24/7 because the more I discuss, the more I reflect, the more desire, the more I will come closer. Agrayam cannot be caught by 5 organs of action, cannot walk towards it. I cannot walk towards God, cannot be gained by grasping by hands. So adrishyam and agrayam means beyond domain of knowledge and domain of action. That knowledge is sense generated knowledge, not aparokshanubhuti. So what I have to practice? So there has to be one sadhana also. Practice, Adi Shankaracharya mentioned this many times, that drop meaningless knowledge and meaningless activity. Why to know what is happening in the neighbor's house and somebody got married and usko abhi bachcha hua ke nahi, then shadi hua nahi, then uska job hua ke nahi. Why? All this knowledge of this is meaningless, unnecessary interest. And meaningless activities, Adi Shankaracharya mentions in many places that unnecessary activities and knowledge we must stop and focus only on Akshara Tattva. If anybody wants to talk about Akshara Tattva, I can talk for 24/7 because that is my goal now. A Gotram has no roots, no Gotra, sourceless, causeless, doesn't produce effect also. No, but now you're going to say that it is going to, yes, but that is only an appearance. We will see that. A Varnam has no qualities, cannot be explained. Why? Because whatever can be explained through dialogue, through words, as only name, form, classification, quality, relationship, activity, function. So now, how to know this? This is very interesting that from morning to evening, whatever I am talking, either I am talking about somebody, this person is like that, it is name, then this person looks like this, it is form, then this person is like that, like that, like that, classification I do, then I talk about his qualities, that he's not a good person, he's a bad person, and then what is the relationship of this person? No, no, they are not married, are they living together? Whether this person is his son, that person is his daughter, relationship, and then activity and function, this person is achieving this, doing this. So entire communication of words possible only with these aspects: नाम रूप क्रिया संबंध, and akshara tattva is nirguna, and that nirguna tattva we are defining, so very difficult job. So qualities are different than attributes. Last time I mentioned guna dharma. In sugar, guna is the crystalline nature, khadi shakkar, refined sugar, that is a guna. But dharma of the sugar is sweetness. If sweetness is removed, sugar will not remain. If Satchitananda Swarup is removed, Brahman will not remain, but Brahman is eternal, not that it cannot be destroyed. But Brahman has attributes which are not qualities. The distinction between that must be very clear. Achakshukshotram, it does not have sense organs. I always, whenever first time I read in life, I got so disappointed that this is what I have to seek, which cannot be seen, cannot be tasted, cannot be smelled. Not like filter coffee, masala dosa, nothing, no taste, no smell. What? Does not have sense organ, but still it knows everything. Very important point. It doesn't have sense organs, but it knows everything. Omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. It is not the knower, nor an object of knowledge, both. It cannot be known as an object because aparavidya is knowledge of object. Paravidya is knowledge of subject. Apanipadam. It has no hands and legs, but still it moves. It is everywhere. What is the implication? It is not doer. So no karma bondage cycle for Brahman or Akshara Tattva. But then who is a doer? Who is a knower in me? That is the ego. Reflected consciousness is the witness consciousness, not Brahman, not Akshara Tattva. This distinction must be very clear that there is consciousness, there is this reflected consciousness which is the knower, doer, witnessing. That witnessing consciousness feels the bondage and wants to get liberated, not Brahman, not Akshara Tattva. Nityam, now the positive things are coming. Eternal, without beginning or end, without past, present, and future. So now we have to pay attention. What it is indicating, this Akshara Tattva is beyond time limitation. Now we have to pay attention. Vibhum, Vibhum means Vividham Bhavati, it becomes all. Causeless cause appears as infinite varieties. Like when we dream, and I dream that I go to Switzerland and then there is tree, then there is water, and then there is food, and then there are people. So all these people, food, water, trees is me only. I become all. My mind only becomes all. So what it actually indicates is it is beyond object limitation. What is object limitation? This object is not that object. We will discuss about limitation and sorrow, because all sorrow and suffering is equal to some form of limitation. If I am suffering poverty, it is limitation of money. If I am suffering failure, it is limitation of success. If I am suffering ill health, it is limitation of health. In COVID, it was limitation of movement. And many people think, no, I would have become a man. It is limitation of object. No, no, I would have become like Madhuri Dixit. I don't like, if I want to become a woman, I should be most beautiful. So I am not Madhuri Dixit. So this is not this. So we have to put in inverted commas because this object limitation is not understood clearly. This is not this, is object limitation. That's the reason Atma is defined as Advitiyam. There is no other like that. Sarvagatam, all pervading, permeating all. Cause pervades entire effect. clay pervades and influences everything. This mind occupies, pervades everything in the dream. This is space limitation. What is the difference between Vibhum and Sarvagatam? Vibhum means it becomes all, and Sarvagatam means it pervades all. Slight difference. And that's the reason we worship everything. What is the implication of this? Brahman, Akshar Tattva pervades everything. So whatever we are seeing, laptop, mobile phone, book, table, everything we must operate, see like Brahman, and then we will take care. Ya pashyati sa pashyati. We must from today see everything as Brahman and treat with respect and love, because inanimate, sentient and insentient, everything is Brahman. Susukshmam, very subtle. How subtle? Subtlety is a measure of pervasiveness and inversely proportional to the number of, at Swamiji gave that definition, number of qualities. Akshar is the subtlest without Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, which makes it gross. So what makes gross? These five things. So earth has all five, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Water has Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa. Gandha is not there in water. Fire, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa. Air, Shabda and Sparsha. Because of air we feel touch, and space, it has only Shabda. So if you can see the subtlety, and Brahman is beyond space also. It is not even having the grossity of the Shabda, so it is the subtlest. Sukshmam. Tadvayam, imperishable, changeless, no modification. Three causes. Modification happens by cutting, by taking away, by removing. So you cannot take away from something Brahman, you cannot add, you cannot cut, you cannot remove anything. Yad Bhuta Yonim, source of all. This is answer to Shaunakji's question. What was Shaunakji's question? That by knowing what, I will know everything. So now he's saying by knowing this Akshar Tattvam, which is the source of everything, you will know everything about the effect. So suppose you go to a shop, jewelry shop, and you say, what is this? Suppose you take some necklace and they say, it's gold only. Whether it is gold Ganpati Murti, or whether it is gold Payal, or whether it is gold Mangal Sutra, they will say it is gold. A person recognizes it as gold. How this Akshar Tattva is the cause of everything? Next verse. So, three analogies are given. Vidya, can we chant twice?
Yes, sir. यथोर्णनाभिसृजते गृह्णते च यथा पृथिव्यामोषधयः सम्भवन्ति यथा सतः पुरुषात् केशलोमानि तथाक्षरात् सम्भवतीह विश्वम् यथोर्णनाभिसृजते गृह्णते च यथा पृथिव्यामोषधयः सम्भवन्ति यथा सतः पुरुषात् केशलोमानि तथाक्षरात् सम्भवतीह विश्वम्.
So, three analogies are taken. As the spider sends forth and draws in its thread, as the plants grow on the earth, and as the hair comes on the head and the body of a living person, so does universe arises from the imperishable Brahman. So where the universe has come from, the imperishable Brahman, where it is sustained in the imperishable Brahman, where it goes back in the imperishable Brahman. Now these three analogies are taken so beautiful, but before that we need to know some basics, that creation needs three causes. What are the three causes? First of all, there has to be a nimitta karana, intelligent cause, upadan karana, material cause, and sahakari, accessory karan, instrument cause. Three things are required to create anything. If you want to create chapati, I am the intelligent cause. Suppose I am making, then I require stove, gas, instrument cause, and I require raw material to make chapati. Classic example taken in Vedanta is potter, mud, and wheel. Potter is the intelligent cause, nimitta karana. Mud is the upadan karana, material cause, and wheel is the Sahakari, instrument by which the potter makes the pot. But in this example, all are separate. What has been important point we have to repeat twice. Spider thread. Spider creates the thread from oneself. All three are one. And the thread goes back. But spider creates only one type of net. What about variety? The second example is taken. Earth and plants. One earth produces infinite variety of plants, and earth is considered as inert, and sentient plants come out of it. Very important point, because mud we see, suppose we take mud in the hand, it is inert, we say, but from the inert, sentient plant comes out. Third, body and hair. From sentient, inert comes out, because my body is sentient, but hair is considered as inert. In the same way, Akshara Tattva, from Akshara, imperishable Brahman, universe comes out. So if you see in this second line, Yatha and Tatha comes. As these three are given, Tatha Tad Aksharam Sambhavita Vishwam. So through this analogies, we have to understand in the same way, sentient and inert both comes out from Akshara Tattva. One becomes many, infinite varieties of universes and people and beings. And both comes out from Akshara Tattva, that is Brahman, that is imperishable. So Akshara, we have to repeat this that Swamiji mentioned. Akshara is Nimitta Upadana Karana of Jagat. Both, because we have to understand this that this is the school of thought of Vedanta what we are learning. Because if you go to Sankhya school, they will say Purush and Prakruti, both are different, both are eternal. If you go to Nyaya school, Ishwar is the cause of Jagata and atom is the material cause, Upadan cause. So, in Vedanta we say Nimitta Upadana Karana of Jagata. When we say Nimitta Upadana Karana, that means the intelligence and material cause is Brahman only. So, it becomes an appearance only. So, we say that this universe is seen, but it is not real, it is not unreal, it is illusory, because wherever Nimitta Upadana Karana is one, it can only be an emergence or an appearance superimposed on the Brahman. This is the main point as we superimpose the silver on the shell. In the same way, the universe is superimposed on Brahman. Interesting aspect of creation, it is effortless. Suppose one idli we want to make, one filter coffee we want to make, so much of effort, and if the process goes wrong, the whole thing goes wrong. Here it becomes effortless. How much effort we do for the hair to come out? No, we don't want hair to come out, still it comes out. Effortless. From itself, by itself, in itself. From itself it comes, by itself it is sustained, and in itself it goes. Answer to main question given here. Know the one source and know all effects. What is one source? The Akshara Tattva. So now very important point. Before we go to next, I will just mention it. Akshara Tattva is the Karana Brahman, Nirguna, and universe is the Karya Brahman, Saguna. So now the whole thing is that please give me the process of sequence of creation. So now before I go to next verse and quickly cover it, one story. There was one person who was walking on the road, and while walking on the road, one big nail went into his toe. You please listen to this story very importantly. One big nail went into his toe and he started experiencing excruciating pain, sat down, blood started oozing. And when he sat down, he started thinking, from where did this nail come? Who created this nail? What is the material what which the nail was made? And then one person who was attending this Mundakopanishad was passing through him. So he asked him, who created this nail? Then who put this nail here? What is the material of the nail? So the Mundakopanishad, like all of us, suppose we are passing through this person. No, I want to know how the nail was created in sequence. He told, are you interested in all these questions, or are you interested to remove the nail? By knowing all these things, will your pain go? So the nail is the ignorance, and for that ignorance to remove, Paravidya is required, then my Atyantik Dukkha Nivrutti will happen and Paramananda Prapti will happen. Because next, when shloka is going to be taken, it is going to give a sequence. But I'll just mention today, as the time is up, what is the main principles of creation, because in every Upanishad, different sequence is given. So, Vidya, can you just chant?
तपसा चीयते ब्रह्म ततोऽन्नम् अभिजायते अन्नात् प्राणो मनः सत्यम् लोकाकर्मसु चामृतम् तपसा चीयते ब्रह्म ततोऽन्नम् अभिजायते अन्नात् प्राणो मनः सत्यम् लोकाकर्मसु चामृतम्.
So, what is the sequence from what is the sequence of creation? So now we know Brahman or Akshar Tattva is the source. So from imperishable Brahman, Tapaha came. From Tapaha, Anna came. From Anna, Prana came. From Prana, mind came. Mind, elements came. From elements, worlds. From worlds, Karma. And from Karma, Karma Phala. We will see it. What is the meaning of it? But important pointer here is that if you read different Upanishads, different sequences are given. And please remember the story. I am interested in Akshara Tattva because sometimes some people get so fascinated by this process of creation that बेचारा Brahman को भूल जाते हैं, and then whole sequence I start by hearting. No, here it is mentioned here, but in Prashnopanishad it is mentioned here, in Amruta Bindu Upanishad it mentioned from Narayan Bhagwan it came, but here it is mentioned that it came from Brahma, it came from, what do you call, Tapaha, etc. So, we have to understand the basics of creation in all Upanishads. What is the basics? Standard model of given in Vedanta Sara. From Brahman, which is Nirgun, causal Ishvara or Maya will come. From that subtle will come, which is called as Hiranyagarbha, and from that gross will come, which is called as Virata. Now, when this causal, subtle, and gross are mentioned in different Upanishads, different words, different analogies are used, because Mundakopanishad basically is a very poetic Upanishad. Lot of analogies and lot of poetry. So we must not get so bogged down about the words what it used, but I'll just mention the words in 2 minutes so that we are in the pace with Swamiji. So what is causal? Maya, three gunas, causal seed. Simple. When we buy, tomorrow, you go on the Amazon and you want to buy papaya seed. You can buy papaya seed. So that seed is the causal, because it has all the potential. Then you put the seed in the ground, in the mud, down, half a feet down, and put water and manure. That spread, the seed will sprout, but it will not come out of the earth. So that is subtle. And when that seed sprouts and come out of the ground, then it becomes gross. So what is the main principle in all creations? First, from Brahman, Maya, Trigunatik Maya with two powers come, Vikshepa and Avarana. And it is causal seed form. Then it is subtle, five elements form. Then total prana, total mind, somewhere it will be alternatively mentioned. These are subtle elements. And then from that gross will come. Five elements gross, individual bodies with individual mind. And here it is mentioned karma, and karma phala is defined as amrutatvam. So we will hold on to here, and I've already mentioned tapaha means what? Anna, prana, that we will cover next time. What is the meaning of that? So these are all sequence given, and slightly different different sequence you will find in different Upanishads. So that should not be our main attention, because this is all aparavidya beyond tapaha. Main interest today is what? This Akshara Tattva. By knowing one, I will know the entire process of creation. So what tapa means, anna means, prana means, mind means, that we will take it next time, because that will be a short topic, so that we will keep the pace with Swamiji's covering of number of mantras. Those who have some questions, please wait. As I mentioned, this is our own nature, and we can sit 24/7 discussing this. The more I discuss Akshar Tattva, the more I go near that Akshar Tattva. ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।